So, what is the right audience size for you to target on Facebook and Instagram ads? Which audience of all of them should you probably start off testing first? And if you don't qualify for that audience, the one that I go to test first in my clients' accounts, then what might you be able to do instead? That's what this episode is about. You want 1.2 to 3 million in audience size because that is a big enough audience in my experience, which is just 5-ish years of managing, I don't know, around $4 million, almost $4 million of ad spend for clients in Meta and Facebook and Instagram ads. Hi, I'm QUAY.jo, by the way. That's enough audience for the algorithm to do its thing. Now, what do I mean by algorithm do its thing? Think of this like a two-person Latin dance. I live here in Mexico. I have lived here in Mexico since 2020 when I got stuck outside of my 12-year home in China. That was fun, not fun. Lots of crying, lots of praying. But in bachata and salsa, I'm learning bachata right now. It's a cool partner dance, right? And you have to give and you have to take. I'm the guy, I'm usually the leader, and the lady who's following me looks for my cues, and I have to make sure as a leader not to be overbearing and to let her shine. Well, when you're running your Facebook and Instagram ads, it's like the same thing. You have your ads management tricks. Hopefully, you're learning more and more tricks that can get you high quality leads at low lead costs, i.e., reading the signs of what's happening. And if things are heading south, you can pull out your trick and change up the ads, right? So you're doing your ads management, but what a lot of folks look over is the algorithm needs to do its thing. And you need to give it time to do its thing. I usually give it 3 days when I first launch ads to do its thing. And what is doing its thing is looking inside of the audience that you're targeting for the right kind of people to opt in. It's what Facebook, Meta, if you will, collects like 52,000 data points on every user, right? So when you put an ad to work, as in when you publish a new ad, the algorithm looks at what your ad copy is, it sees your visuals, it crawls the website that you're sending the ad traffic to, but then it also looks at the data that it's collected about you, your business, if you will, in your pixel that you hopefully have already had installed on your website and connected to your various softwares. And then it goes and looks at the folks in your audience and begins its work of testing your ad out and seeing who responds the best and taking note, if algorithms can even take notes, on what kind of person would be the best person to opt in for your ad, right? This takes a bit, usually 3 days, could be 4 days. And during that time, that's why you'll usually see lead costs on day 1 start off higher than you had hoped. And then on day 2, they should trend downward. And on day 3, they should further trend downward. That's your dance partner doing its thing. You're letting it shine. And then, on day 4 and 5, you can start to tweak, turn off low performing ads, add in new ad creative, add in new ad copy, whatever you'd like. Well, not whatever you'd like. There is a science to ads management. And so the next thing is, what audience should you start out testing? Now, disclaimer, I am just a Facebook and Instagram ads manager. I am not your Facebook and Instagram ads manager. Nothing I say will always work for you. And you need to test what I'm saying in your account. That's what we do as ads managers. We test a bunch of different things. But you always should understand that with Facebook and Instagram ads, you are taking a risk. Nothing is guaranteed. In fact, you are guaranteed to lose money because that's part of testing through what doesn't work so that you can find what does work. All that being said, when I start up a client account, the favorite audience I like to use is called a lookalike audience of their email list. Now, lookalike audience is a cold audience. Cold and warm just means that warm people know you already or have entered your business ecosphere, interacted with your social media accounts, seen your videos, been to your website, or even are already on your email list, whereas cold means they've done none of those things. And so I'll take a client's email list and upload it to Meta and say, hey, Meta, build me a big old cold audience, i.e., look at the folks on this email list and then give me, 1.5 million to 3 million more people who share very similar attributes to the folks on my email or on my client's email list. Now, there is kind of a qualification here, and I said kind of on purpose, that your email list should be at least 600 people large before you upload it to Meta. Why? It's not that Meta's taking the email accounts and building a lookalike audience off of all of those email accounts. What Meta is actually doing is matching the names and emails from that email list to actual Facebook and Instagram user accounts that it already has and knows about, right? Because then it can use all the data points it collects on those Facebook and Instagram user accounts in order to build a lookalike audience. But the thing is it's never like upload 600 emails and you get 100% match, as in Meta matches up those 600 emails with 600 Meta accounts. Nope, it's usually like, I don't know, 40 to 60%. So imagine uploading, like I got my calculator here to figure this out really quick, but imagine uploading 600 emails and then Meta only actually can build an audience based off of 240 of those emails. And so what we say in Ads Manager world is you want your email list to be about 600 before you do this. And of course, the larger the email list, the better. And now I'm going to tell you what to do if you do not yet have an email list of 600. Or maybe you have an email list that you used for a previous business and you're pretty sure that your current email list is not the right kind of email list that you want to build a new audience off of to target for your new business. And before I tell you the secret, take a moment, please, to head down to the descriptions below and click on this little survey to fill it out. And tell me, what kind of Facebook and Instagram topics for growing your online course business do you need to hear the most? Because this podcast thing, I don't like guessing episodes. I would love to just create the content that helps you, because then it helps you out. And then the platforms also reward me by showing it to more and more people, because it's exactly what you wanted, and it's probably exactly what the other folks who are course creators, membership owners, are also wanting and needing help with. So please tell me. It'd take you 90 seconds to just fill out like 5 little itsy bitsy questions to give me a tip, a clue on what you need help with. Now, let's jump back into what you do if your email list is too small, but you still want to target ads. So you get to detailed audience targeting by opening up your ad manager and creating a new campaign, and then coming to the ad set level. And at the ad set level, you can scroll down here until you find detailed targeting. And then what you need to do is just put in the kind of interest that you believe, or that you know, because you've done your research and taken surveys. And so put in the interests that your ideal clients have. Now, I'll just give you an example. I was coaching, because I do Facebook ads coaching. Like, if you have ads that you need to work better, well, then you just have me do one-on-one coaching with you for 28 days, and you will run a campaign that works way better than if you had just, done all the things by yourself and tried to figure it out by yourself, because you get to leverage my like 5-ish years of experience for your business. Link in the description below, by the way, for that. So here's what we did for a coaching client of mine. Is the first step. She knew who she was serving after I asked her who her ideal clients were, because she had already had plenty of customers, right? So we went in here and we typed college grad, in the United States, and women, right? And we got this huge audience. And then we went to define further, because we knew that we didn't just need to target college graduates. We wanted to target moms who were parents of older kids, moms who had graduated college that were parents of older kids. So what we ended up typing here is parents of, and we picked parents with adult children. Let's say this for now. That's easy enough. We didn't pick that exact one, but you get the point. And our audience got smaller. But then we also knew that the moms who had graduated college, who were parents with older kids, they tend to come from higher income households. So we narrowed it down further by going to find further to top income. And we just stacked all of the top income targeting options. Now, notice how that audience shrunk down here. Well, we could do that for this client because she already had a bunch of paying clients. So she knew specifically who she needed to target. If you don't have tons of paying clients already and you're still exploring, then yeah, do what I said and see how I deleted that and we're right around 2 million. Perfect audience size. And there are a ton of different audiences for you to research. If you spend the time doing good research, then your detailed audience targeting by interest should perform well. And if it doesn't, then test a different audience until you find one that performs well. But don't just stop and say Facebook and Instagram ads didn't work for me. That's like a baby stopping when they're trying to figure out how to walk. Have you ever seen a little kid just like cry? Like, this whole walking thing, well, maybe they can't talk yet, but they're like, this just isn't for me. I'm just not going to try to walk. I tried it and I know other people can do it. And I see you doing it, mom and dad, but it's just too hard. It didn't work out for me. So I'm going to do something else, like crawl the rest of my life or just keep rolling around. Now, that's not how it works. Little babies and toddlers, if you will, are persistent until they can walk. And they'll grab on everything and clamber over everything, and pull your tablecloths off the table and knock over your lamps trying to stand up and whine and cry so you can kind of hold their hands. They won't give up until they do walk. And I want you to continue being persistent in the same way. YouTube says if you liked this video, you'll probably also like that one over there. So tap or click there and enjoy.